He's the most dynamic personality the sport's ever known.
And he was, for a time there, just such an unbelievable fighter. I mean, he was like it was incredible what he was doing.
The Eddie Alvarez fight.
Oh yeah, I was
example.
there. I was there. Well, thanks to you. With really good seats, thanks to you. But that was one of the best. That might be the best fight I've ever been to live, because that whole card was just stacked, and that as the main event was just unbelievable.
Bro, he was in the Matrix. He was in the Matrix. He was just in the zone. You know, Dana said it best. He's like, that kid eats pressure. He goes, he eats it.
Yeah.
Like, he thrives on pressure. Pressure that makes other people wilt.
Yes.
He, like, shines under that pressure.
And he had an amazing ability, even very early in his career, which was, like, kind of, it was really unique. Like, because even, like, on his first fight ever, if you watch his first fight in the UFC against, like, Brimage, I think the guy's name is, and he was a relatively unknown at the time. But, dude, the place is going nuts. He already had made so much kind of like street cred for himself, and then the Irish thing, like the Irish were really, really into it. But he, from the very first fight, he would always create these moments where it's like, dude, this is going to be the biggest spectacle that my opponent, has ever been in their career. Like, I'm going to get you mad with shit talk, and I'm going to get the fans so excited, because he's completely comfortable there.
Expected hacks, because I'm coming in fast. I tell you this, how are you doing after your 5-round fight with Oliveira? I thought some of the shots went to the back of the head. You had an opportunity to repay the favor you didn't take. I was disappointed in the result and the outcome of the bout and the shape the bout took. But how's the body? How are you feeling?
What it is, bro.
How's Hawaii?
I'm good.
I look forward to see you again in Las
great.
Vegas.
Hawaii's great, brother. Hawaii's great. I can't wait to see you in the ninth island, brother. How's Dublin? I heard you're sleeping in the gym, so that's great to hear, man. We're glad to have you back. I can't wait to get in there and mix it up, bro. We're gonna make some records.
A prediction, a finish, bro. Mystic Max is feeling a finish, bro. Finish, bro.
McGregor is coming back to the UFC. International Fight Week, the biggest star in all the combat sports, the two-weight division champion, the notorious one, whatever you want to call him, he's coming back, and it is a rematch against Max Blessed Holloway, Maxi Baby, the former BMF, the best boxer in the UFC, bruh. And Conor McGregor was just on the come-up, when Max Holloway was known for being a really young fighter, but really good with good boxing.
Conor McGregor is fighting at 170, your weight class, against Max Holloway. Do you think he can beat Max at 170?
No, I think Max is gonna win. I'm super fan of Max Holloway, you know, but he fighting more, you know. McGregor is 5 years without fight, so I don't think he's gonna beat Max Holloway.
Even though they're fighting at 170 and Max has never gone there?
No, I don't think so. I think Max is gonna win.
He was on Jimmy Fallon. He's doing the rounds. It's my understanding that he went from New York and he's going to Vegas or California rather, and he's going to lock in the rest of his camp here. So like, I'm confident, unless anyone can get injured badly, things can happen in a camp. But I think he fully intends on fighting this fight.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I think he intends on fighting this fight too. But what I'm saying is that you're supposed to say the right thing. You're not supposed to alarm people that, there's issues. And even in your head, you might think you're saying the right thing, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the right thing is going to happen. But I'm hoping, I'm positive, and I'm optimistic that the right thing will happen with Conor, and that he does do this fight, and then he does come back in April, and he does submit himself to the mercy of the game like everyone else. So I'm optimistic that those things will happen.
Yeah. What about the fight itself? I mean, we bring up all these hypotheticals if he could fight Justin Gaethje and all that. I mean, it's exactly a 5-year layoff. The current Kalshi market has him with a 34% chance to Max Holloway 66, which feels, a little more generous than I was expecting there. I don't know. How do you feel about this fight? Can Conor McGregor, are we just making fun games here for the sake of conversation, or is there a world where you see Conor McGregor actually winning this fight?
Against Max Holloway?
Yes, against Max Holloway.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And the only reason why I'm saying that with this level of confidence is because he's done things before that we never thought he could do. So you kind of have to take him seriously when he says something. You have to. I've watched Conor. I was one of Marcus Brimmage's sparring partners when Marcus fought him. Oh, I'm just fighting this guy from Ireland. Now he's from Ireland. Who fight out of Ireland? Oh, this guy named Conor something. Oh man, he touched him up, right? And then he goes on this run. Then he fights Dustin, and we go, oh yeah, Dustin's the one who's gonna save us. Dustin's our guy. Then he knocks Dustin out. You're like, wow, this guy. And then he goes on this run, knocking out all our heroes. You're like, damn.
Conor McGregor has found his way back into the spotlight, and honestly, it feels like the MMA world has been holding its breath, waiting for this moment. After years of injuries, legal drama, personal setbacks, and a very public stretch where many people were genuinely unsure if he would ever compete at his best again, the Irishman is showing signs that the old fire is still burning. Now he is set to face Max Holloway, and the build-up to this fight has taken on a life of its own. Every single training clip that gets posted online draws hundreds of thousands of views within hours. Every press conference moment gets dissected. Every word McGregor says gets turned into a headline by the following morning. The question that keeps coming up in gyms, in comment sections, and in living rooms across the world is a straightforward one. Can Conor McGregor actually do this again? Can he go in there against a fighter like Max Holloway, who has grown into one of the most dangerous and experienced competitors in the sport, and walk away with a win that silences the doubters for good? Or has the time away, the injuries, and the sheer weight of expectation finally caught up with him in a way that no training camp can fix? People on both sides of that argument have strong opinions, and that debate is exactly what makes this fight feel so much bigger than just two guys stepping into the octagon.
He's coming up against Max Holloway in a great fight. How do you see that matchup between those two?
Personally, I think because it's that welterweight, I see Conor knocking him out. Like, everyone's counting Conor out and thinks that Max is going to win. If it goes to the later rounds, yeah, Max definitely probably start piecing him up on the feet because he's got that cardio and the volume, but the fact that it's at welterweight, I think, favours Conor because Charles made Max look small at lightweight. So imagine how big Conor's going to look compared to him at welterweight.
Michael Bisping has been around this sport long enough to understand what certain fights actually mean beyond the result, and he did not hold back when breaking down what is at stake for McGregor heading into this one. Bisping was direct about something that a lot of people have been thinking, but not necessarily saying out loud. He admitted that he genuinely does not know whether McGregor has stayed sharp enough during his time away from consistent competition to hang with Holloway at the level this fight demands. That uncertainty matters, because this is not a tune-up fight. This is not a carefully selected opponent designed to ease McGregor back into rhythm. Holloway is a real problem for anyone on the planet, and Bisping knows that better than most. His point was that a loss here does not just go on McGregor's record and get forgotten about. A loss here hands ammunition to every critic who has spent the last few years arguing that the version of McGregor who dominated the featherweight division and made history was a product of a specific moment in time that has now passed. Those critics would have a field day, and the conversation about where McGregor ranks among the all-time greats would shift in a direction that even his most loyal supporters would struggle to push back against. At the same time, Bisping made sure to remind people of exactly why McGregor became the phenomenon he became in the first place. He was not just a talented fighter, he was a different category of performer altogether. The night McGregor finished Jose Aldo in 13 seconds at UFC 194 sent shockwaves through the entire sport. Aldo had been untouchable for a decade, and McGregor walked in there and ended the fight before most people in the arena had settled into their seats. Then came the night against Eddie Alvarez, where McGregor became the first fighter in UFC history to hold 2 championship belts simultaneously, stopping Alvarez with a performance that was as technically dominant as it was physically brutal. Those moments did not happen by accident. They happened because McGregor had a combination of timing, precision, composure under pressure, and sheer belief in himself that very few fighters in the history of the sport have been able to match. Bisping's argument was simple. The talent that produced those moments does not just disappear. The question is whether McGregor has taken care of himself well enough, worked hard enough, and stayed focused enough to access that talent again when the cage door closes and the crowd falls silent and it is just him and Holloway in there.
But the sport has evolved, and I don't know if Conor McGregor necessarily has. Now, this is a big fight for him, for the sport, for his legacy, right? Because a lot of people are going to talk shit. If he loses this fight, fair weather fans, new people are going to be like, oh yeah, he doesn't seem like he was that good. The McGregor back in the day was that good. That's plain and simple. The way that he took out Eddie Alvarez, that was just beautiful. The Jose Aldo thing, that was one punch that was perfectly timed, incredible. But when he became double champ against Eddie Alvarez, That was a masterclass performance, okay? And then on the microphone saying, I'm going to apologize to absolutely nobody. Standing there with the 2 belts on, the first person to ever do.
What Bisping also pointed out, and this is the part of the conversation that felt the most interesting, is that McGregor himself seems to understand the stakes in a way that perhaps he did not during some of his earlier comeback attempts. There is a visible difference in how he is carrying himself heading into this fight compared to previous camps. He looks settled, not overconfident in the way that can sometimes tip into carelessness, but genuinely calm in a way that reads more like clarity than comfort. Bisping's read on this was that McGregor is fully aware of where he stands right now in terms of his career. At this point in his life, with everything that has happened, he cannot walk into this fight with the casual attitude that he occasionally displayed when he was younger and operating with the kind of unbroken confidence that comes from never having faced real adversity inside the octagon. Those days are behind him. He has been knocked down, literally and figuratively, and the version of McGregor preparing for Holloway appears to have processed that in a productive way rather than letting it become a source of anxiety. The age factor is real, and Bisping acknowledged it without making it the entire story. McGregor is no longer a young fighter with the luxury of bouncing back from losses and building towards something bigger. Every fight from here carries more weight than it would have a decade ago. A defeat against Holloway would not just be a loss on paper, it would almost certainly trigger the loudest wave of retirement calls he has ever faced, and given where things stand, those calls would be difficult to dismiss. His position among the names that people mention when they talk about the greatest fighters to ever compete in mixed martial arts could shift in a lasting way. And McGregor, according to Bisping, understands that clearly. That awareness, the sense that there is no safety net this time, no easy comeback narrative waiting if things go wrong, could actually work in his favor. Fighters who fully understand the consequences of losing sometimes find a version of themselves in training and on fight night that they could never access when the stakes felt lower. McGregor going into this fight with that mindset, switched on, disciplined, and genuinely hungry, in a way that goes beyond wanting to win, is a genuinely dangerous proposition for Holloway, regardless of what the pre-fight odds say. There is also something to be said for the experience McGregor brings. Holloway is exceptional, but McGregor has been in moments that test a fighter's mental and emotional limits in ways that go beyond what most people face in a career. He has fought in front of packed arenas with the entire sporting world watching. He has performed under the kind of scrutiny that would break most athletes. He knows what it feels like when the pressure is at its absolute highest, and he knows how to keep functioning when that pressure is pushing down on him from every direction.
He lives a quiet life on the island of Hawaii, okay, on Hilo or whatever whichever island it is. I'm not too sure off the top of my head. Max blessed Holloway. Where's he come from? Honolulu? I don't know off the top of my head. Let me know in the comment section, please. But still, what do you think about McGregor, this new version of himself? He does seem to have calmed down a little bit. He does seem to be taking this one very, very seriously. And he has to. Because if he doesn't get the job done here, at 38 years old, and I think he'll be turning 39 3 days after the fight, if he loses, people will be saying it's time.
So now the question lands with you. Conor McGregor is stepping back in there. The stakes are as high as they have ever been, and standing across from him is Max Holloway, a fighter who has used the years since their last meeting to evolve into something genuinely formidable. Holloway has spoken openly about wanting to settle the score and prove that the outcome of their previous encounter does not reflect who the better fighter actually is. Does McGregor have enough left to make that argument irrelevant on fight night? Does the combination of renewed focus, hard training, and a career's worth of big moment experience give him a path to victory that holds up when the punches start landing? Or has Holloway developed into a version of himself that the McGregor of today simply cannot handle, no matter how well prepared and motivated the Irishman arrives? The arguments exist on both sides, and that is precisely why this fight has captured attention the way it has. Drop your prediction in the comments and make your case. If this kind of breakdown is what you are looking for, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next one. More fight analysis and MMA coverage is coming your way.